to the Boise Unitarian Universalist Fellowship's online Zoom worship service. We are so glad that you are joining us this morning. Welcome to Earth Month 2021. Spring is blooming all around us, reminding us of the stunning beauty of our home. Earth Day is this Thursday, April 22nd, and we all know really every day should be Earth Day. But in honor of this time in which we turn our attention to our Earth, our Climate Action Team has put together an exciting month of programs and activities to help us all explore the deep issues of our climate crisis and make small changes in our own lives and the lives of our wider community as we more deeply connect with our commitment to our Earth. Our Climate Action Team has created a wonderful interactive web page and calendar for Earth Month with something to do, to explore, to learn, a tip for every day, including some bigger workshops and film screenings, another Meatless Monday cooking class, all of that happening on Zoom. We'll put a link to that calendar and webpage in the chat so you can check it out for yourself. The first tip on the calendar for tomorrow is an invitation to plant a bee garden with resources from the Treasure Valley Pollinator Project. I checked it out yesterday and ordered my pollinator flower tray just by clicking the link on the calendar. It was so easy and fun. Thank you, Climate Action Team, for all of your amazing work on this project. We are going to have a lot of fun together this month. Our Climate Action Team is active year-round, putting on all kinds of programs and helping us plug in and advocate for our climate, for our Earth, in our community under the beautiful leadership of Sharon and Dennis Rockwood. Thank you both. There are so many members of this team. I don't have time to list them all, but I want to invite our Climate Action Team members to put a little Zoom reaction emoji, if you're able, in your Zoom window there, like a little heart, like I just did there, so that we can scroll through and recognize you and thank you for your dedication, for your commitment, for keeping us all invested and connected to the work that we need to do to protect our future. We are still also in the midst of our annual giving drive. Only one more week to go, and so we ask all of you to help us reach our dreams for the coming fiscal year by making your pledges today. And don't forget to pick up your Celebration Sunday swag bags with important props for our Celebration Sunday service next week. We'll be using some things in the bag. They are available outside the south entrance in a plastic tub because earlier in the week I caught a squirrel eating the little chocolate bars out of the bag, which was hilarious after I was really annoyed and chased him off. And in addition to the Celebration Sunday swag that we will use next Sunday, our Climate Action Team has also put together this special packet that's in here that goes along with Earth Month. So you kind of just get double gifts in your swag bag, and we want to make sure that you have one. Of course, if you need some help getting your bag, if you would like a special delivery, we are delighted to do that. So just please be in contact with our office and we'll make arrangements to help you get your bag. As we celebrate our campaign theme, Together We Thrive, we take time this month to expand that thriving to include our precious planet. Our thriving together depends upon the thriving of our Earth, our source of life, our sustainer. We are connected to its thriving, and when the Earth suffers, we suffer. And we can thrive together by seeking pathways to restore, regenerate, and heal our world on fire in all of its manifestations. Today's service features elements provided by the Unitarian Universalist Ministry for the Earth and their program Spring for Change, a season of sacred activism. Today we'll enjoy music from Leah Morris, more from Emma's Revolution, and a beautiful reflection from the Reverend Yadini Hailu. And we're invited to consider these questions. When you imagine pathways to personal, social, and ecological healing and regeneration, what do you see? Who is with you on your journey? What transforms and gives way to new beginnings? To whom and to what are you accountable along the way? I want to take a moment to give a special welcome to any newcomers who are joining us this morning. If you've just been worshiping with us for a few times, we know it takes a lot of courage to check out a new community, and we are so glad that you've joined us today. We invite you to introduce yourself in the chat so that we can warmly welcome you. And to fill out one of our newcomer cards, we'll post a link to that in the chat so that we can keep you up to date with all that is happening in our fellowship. I have a few announcement reminders for all of us, specifically for our newcomers. We have an Inquirer series for newcomers, and that continues with a special session after the worship service in our own breakout room today. That session is on membership. We invite you to stick around for that if that is of interest to you. And again, I know I've said it, but Celebration Sunday is next week on the 25th, and we are going to celebrate with all kinds of wonderful surprises. Great new music, amazing videos showcasing the talent of our congregation. And that service will be an extended service. It will go a little longer than normal. So come and get extra coffee and be prepared to sing and joyfully toot your own horn with us in our Celebration Sunday service next week. As we gather each week, even virtually, we take a moment to acknowledge who is with us on this journey and is also rendered invisible. The land upon which our church and homes exist is the ancestral land stolen from the Shoshone Bannock, Paiute, and Nez Perce tribes, alongside many others whose names have been lost in history. These tribes inhabited a vast region, including much of Idaho, before they were rounded up and forced to leave. This land has a long history, long before colonization. And we acknowledge that our presence here today is founded upon the exclusions and erasures of many Indigenous peoples who have much to teach us about ecological frameworks for living in divine harmony with our earth. With this acknowledgement, we wish to demonstrate a commitment to beginning the process of dismantling the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism. We honor the Native people's right to sovereignty and their connection to this land. As we enter into this time of worship together, of reflecting upon the gifts of this precious planet, let's all take a moment and have a breath together. Fill your body with breath. Breathe, knowing that sustaining breath comes from our thriving planet. And that breath connects us to each other, to our bodies. That breath offering us an opportunity for stillness, to tune into our spiritual center, and to listen deeply to the call of our planet. Thou art the song of my heart in the morning. Thou art the dawn of truth in my soul. Thou art the dew of the roses adorning. Thou art the woven whole. Thine is the grace to be steadfast in danger. Thine is the peace that none can destroy. Thine is the face of the need-driven stranger. Thine are the wings of joy. Thou art the deep, to the deep in me calling. Thou art a lamp where my feet shall tread. Thy way is steep past the peril of falling. Thou art my daily bread. Thine be the praise of my spirit uplifted. Thou art the sea to each flowing stream. Thine be the days that are gathered and sifted. Thou art the deathless dream.
bittersweet bluebird, tell me what you heard. I want to sing that great song that you know. Wake from your slumber and try to remember a time when we all were together as one. A new day is coming, yes, there will be sunshine. Wipe away teardrops, springtime will It's been so lonely, but that was only our chance to realize the love that we need. Come, take my hand now, let's make a plan how to stay wide awake. Let's fly you and me away. Wake from your slumber and try to remember a time when we all were together as one. A new day has come, tell me you feel the sun. Wipe away teardrops, springtime has come. I'm wide awake now.
Each week, we light our flaming chalice, a symbol of our free faith, a beacon of hope, love, and justice. We join in this lighting in solidarity and community with thousands of other Unitarian Universalists lighting chalices today in homes and in online worship services, reminding us that we are connected to one another and to a larger community of faith and love. If you have a chalice nearby, you're invited to light it with us this morning. And if you like, hold your chalice up to the camera, and while we all click gallery view, you can see all the chalices being lit this morning. Then you are also invited to share in the chat where your chalice has been lit. With our collective chalices lit in all our spaces, we offer you this call to worship from Archibald MacLeish's poem, Sowing of the Dead Corn.
Why, it was wonderful. Why, all at once there were leaves, leaves at the end of a dry stick, small, alive, leaves out of wood.
Wonderful. You can't imagine. They came by the wood path and the earth loosened. The earth relaxed. There were flowers out of the earth. Think of it. And oak trees oozing new green at the tips of them, and flowers.
Squeezed out of clay, soft flowers, limp stalks flowering. Well, it was like a dream. It happened so quickly. All of a sudden, it happened. Come, let us worship our wonderful earth together.
I invite everyone to cozy up for our Time for All Ages this morning. I am so happy to be back with everyone this morning. This week, I went on a COVID-safe road trip to visit the Oregon coast. on the Oregon coast, I got to visit the largest tree in Oregon. It is a mammoth western red cedar tree. It is 49 feet around. I am really curious how many people it would take to link hands and give that tree a hug all the way around, with 49 feet around. It was surrounded in its little sanctuary on the coast by a boardwalk that raised the visitors up, and it kept the plants, the soil, and the other trees in this sanctuary safe from visitors' feet, from being trampled. I'm going to share photos of this phenomenon on our Facebook page because it is gorgeous and I want everyone to see. As I drove home, I saw agricultural fields where farmers grew one crop at a time or kept their cows. I saw big parts of mountains that were deforested or burned. I saw some patches of regrowth from the devastation of both, but not many. Have you ever been on a road trip where you noticed lots of ways that the earth looks different from our city, different from the block that you live on, from our green belt and the trails that we have? I've taken some big wondering questions back with me from that trip. What exactly is beneath our feet? I don't mean concrete and flooring and asphalt. What is the top of the earth? All of this dirt. Why do plants need to be rooted in it to stay alive? In our church, we are becoming a people of the earth. Our 7th UU principle inspires us towards respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are part. Why do we call it an interdependent web? What do you think that means? Is it like a spider's web? All parts connected? Or is it like something else for you? Our faith and many other faiths make taking care of the earth and the natural world a part of being a religious person. Today, we are exploring thriving, living joyfully and fully alongside of the earth and not to its detriment. We're celebrating the work we do to become even more aware of what is happening around us on our planet in order to work towards helping our planet and ourselves. So what is one way that our faith guides us into being a people of becoming? It says, become a people of the earth. The dirt beneath our feet is an important part of sustaining life. Ariel Aronson Eves shares these words of wisdom. They're called the soil that sustains us. So let's dig in. I have the wonderful Wonder Board back, and so I appreciate your patience as I get it positioned. I think that you can see most of that. So what is soil? The technical definition is soil is the upper layer of earth in which plants grow, or a black or dark brown material typically consisting of a mixture of organic remains, clay, and rock particles. It's very official. I like to think of soil as a community. There are 3 main mineral components of our soil. And here is a picture of them. You can tell the difference based on texture and color a little bit in this, but we have clay, which is reddish right here. Oh, who fell? Okay, sorry, something fell. We have sand, which I spent a week digging my toes into. And we have silt, which is kind of something between a rock and this dirt that we have. There's all sorts of, I'm gonna stick this over here. There's all sorts of organic matter from plants and animals and animal material as they decay. When organic matter is really broken down, so it can't decompose anymore, that's called humus. I think that's called humus. I don't think it's pronounced hummus, which shares a root with the word human. Isn't that interesting? In addition to all of these minerals and organic matter that make up soil, there's something else, something very important. Billions and billions of microorganisms live inside of our soil. Here's some cartoons, but we can imagine that they look like cool, funky beings if we want to. These are tiny, tiny, tiny life forms like bacteria and fungi. These microbes, together with the roots of plant, make up the community of soil. Just like we humans need to get certain nutrients from our food to be healthy, so do plants. Plants are sun-powered. We all know that they use their leaves for photosynthesis. I'm a little behind on my pictures. They're sun-powered, and we're to a degree also sun-powered, aren't we? But they need something else. They need a little more. They need that water. Sunlight provides them the energy and the material to make their own food from the air and water. But just like we can't live healthily off of only carbs or only protein, there are nutrients plants need that they can't get through photosynthesis with the sun. So they developed a system of exchange. They developed a relationship with these microbes that live in the soil. These microbes take the rock material, the silt, the rock from the bedrock that is beneath it, the rocks that protrude up into the earth, and they break it down to help capture nutrients from the rocks and the air. And in this way, they gather up the nutrients in forms that the plants can take in. It's an exchange. The plants feed the microbes sugar to keep them alive as well. This is so much, this is big exchange, and it's all happening underneath the soil surface, underneath our feet. Well, that's what happens in healthy soils. The system of cooperation breaks down when a plant doesn't need those microbes. Why would they stop needing microbes? Well, we humans have developed a system of heavy chemical fertilizers, and the plants get addicted to that quick fix. It gives them everything they need from the top. They don't need to be in relationship with the soil. They are free from this slow process of relationship building, of having to share their sugars with the microbes. This community system gets broken down the more our plants neglect that relationship. It takes years to restore this, to make this relationship strong again, but it's important that we do it, and we can restore them. It just takes lots of care and learning to see crops, the plants that we grow in the field, that the farmers grow. We need to see them as not only products that we take out of the land. We can look at the plants as part of a valuable community. And that starts with the soil. Learning to see soil as more than just dirt. And we can even think of it as being sacred. This was a little bit of a wordy science lesson for us, but I am curious, when was the last time that you dug your hands into some dirt? There's scientific evidence that soil doesn't just benefit plants and microbes, but soil is helpful for our healing, and they benefit our bodies in lots of ways when we come into contact with it. Where can you go to learn about how to nurture soil in your yard, maybe without chemical fertilizer? And what are some other communities that you see in nature around us ways that plants and animals and beings have to share and build relationships. I invite our children, youth, and grown-ups to join me after the service for our fellowship time. We'll stay in this room while some folks go off to our breakout rooms, and we will have a little activity together. Thank you everyone so much. I invite everyone to join me now in singing our community blessing.
May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
Jem, what an awesome science lesson story. Thank you for that. I think about the relationship building that Jem talked about between the plants and the soil, and how much time and depth it takes, but how it ultimately helps plants thrive in their fullest sense of what they are and what they can be. And that is exactly what happens in community. We thrive because of the way that we connect and deepen our relationships with one another here in this fellowship. Here to share a little testimonial about the ways that this community has helped him thrive is our own member, Chuck Tate. Thanks so much, Chuck.
Well, thank you. Am I unmuted?
Yes, you're good to go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm Chuck Tate, and I'm relatively new to Booth. It was actually 6 years, 3 months, and 1 day ago that Liz and I were married, and she was my first and only introduction into Booth, and I'm really happy that she did. And there's a lot of things to talk about that Booth has contributed to my life to enrich myself. I first want to talk about the most recent thing, and that was Gary's memorial yesterday. That was just beautifully done, and as others expressed, I'm going to regret that I didn't get to know Gary more, because he obviously has a great deal to learn from, for me to learn from. My religious journey has been kind of a common story. It's been through all kinds of ups and downs, and all part of the learning process. Continued with Booth, which was quite surprising. I didn't have to memorize stuff and believe things or not. And going through Quest 2 was a furthering helpful development for myself. One of the things that's probably the most significant part, one of the most significant parts for Booth is the active involvement in life and in the wide range of committees that are all active and they do things. Living in a world of words elsewhere, it's great to see active things going on. Especially impressed with the work that Dennis and Sharon do with the CC, with the CAT committee. I love to see the plate partners. I like to have the guests here. I've always felt that welcoming somebody into a new environment is very important. And the same with when visitors or people here for the first time, it's always a good, refreshing thing to say hello and welcome them into our environment. Music, just remarkable. Carrie, what you put together, and the choir, the quality is just tremendous. On the pledging, I've never even thought about spending so much money on a church. I always thought, you know, $10 or $20 was a pretty big investment, and now we contribute more than that, and we're both happy to increase that each year. Freedom of thought. I guess to wrap this up, because I'm going to run out of time, is the appreciation and the commendation for Reverend Sara and the sermons that she delivers. They are touching, they are realistic, they're down to earth, and I really look forward to those in person or on Zoom. And by the way, on Zoom, I always feel that you, Reverend Sara, are talking to me because you're looking right at me as opposed to being in the, okay. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Chuck. And thank you and Liz both for your generosity. It is greatly appreciated, and we're so glad that you both are members of this community that help make all of us thrive together. In addition to our annual giving drive and the annual pledges that support this congregation, we also take up an offering each week, that weekly spiritual practice of generosity that reminds us of our highest values and aspirations, recognizing that when we give, we are saying yes to those things in our life that matter most, to protecting our planet, to religious freedom, to advocating for the most marginalized and oppressed in our community. And it is with your gifts in all facets of the congregation that we're able to continue to do that work and to support the self-sustaining ministries and the ministry of our plate partner, Link, the Living Independence Network that is helping people with disabilities live in the manner of independence that they choose for themselves. To make a gift for our offering, you can go to our website at boiseuu.org and click Give up at the very top right corner and follow the prompts on through. This congregation is extraordinarily generous. You support this community with your whole hearts, and then in turn, we share that with the wider world. Thank you for that generosity. Our offering will now be received.
We ring the new year in with wondering, what will it hold, what will it bring? Much is uncertain, but this we know, things don't stay the same, they fade or grow. Yesterday's a story, tomorrow's yet to be. Right here and now, there's possibility. We stumble, fall, we rise and sing, for we are becoming. We greet the dawning day with wondering, what lies ahead, what will today bring? Life is uncertain, but this we know, things don't stay the same, they fade or grow. Yesterday's a story, tomorrow's yet to be. Right here and now, there's possibility. We live and learn, rejoice and sing, for we are becoming. Doorways to the left, pathways to the right, a whisper in the heart, a song in the night. So many possibilities, will we get it right? Just hold to the truth, follow the light. this precious moment with wondering. Will it hold joy or sorrowing? Nothing is certain, but this we know. Things don't stay the same, they fade or grow. Yesterday's a story, tomorrow's yet to be. Right here and now, there's possibility. We leap with faith and grow our wings, for we are becoming.
Renowned poet and Unitarian E.E. Cummings was not immune to the joys and the woes of this world. He grew up as a cherished member in a loving home. He also served as an ambulance driver on the front lines during World War I and saw more than a human's share of horrors. His most well-known poem transcends both these realities. I thank you, God, for most this amazing day, for the leaping greenly spirits of trees and a blue, true dream of sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. I who have died am alive again today, and this is the sun's birthday. This is the birthday of life and of love and wings and of the gay, great, happening, illimitably earth. How should tasting, touching, hearing, seeing, breathing, any lifted from the no of all nothing, human merely being, doubt unimaginable you? Now the ears of my ears awake, and now the eyes of my eyes are open.
Amen. Thank you, Gwyn, for sharing those beautiful and passionate words. May the ears of our ears continue to awake and the eyes of our eyes continue to open. Our first reflection today comes from the Reverend Yadini Hailu. She is an Ethiopian-American Black woman based in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She is a writer, a speaker, a facilitator, a project manager, and her community ministry is Black Earth, a love letter to the earth and Black people, inviting all carbon life to return to rest and right relationship as its baseline. She believes life's first mandate is to flourish and its second is to heal. And the mission of her Black Earth ministry supports people who desire to curate a lifestyle of healing and shape their relationships and community towards wholeness.
Today we have taken inspiration from Greta Thunberg, who is a young Swedish female autistic climate activist whose speech at the World Economic Forum in 2019 inspired the song by Emma's Revolution, Our House is on Fire. Here is an excerpt of Greta's speech. Our house is on fire. I'm here to say our house is on fire. We have to stop the emissions of greenhouse gases, and either we do that or we don't. You say that nothing in life is black or white, but that's a lie, a very dangerous lie. Because either we prevent 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming or we don't. Either we choose to go on as a civilization or we don't. That is as black or white as it gets. Greta is clear. She is practical. I respect it. Greta says we must shift nearly every aspect of society urgently to attempt survival as a species on this planet. But what is stopping us? As a minister that trusts and centers life, I ask what prevents reasonable and natural right action. This is the dilemma that we must resolve to address the core source of the environmental mess that colonization and really capitalism has whipped us into in just a matter of a couple centuries. We've been presented a cultural framework with binaries that failed. Like Greta says, and male and female are blood snippets of truth from a historical and scientific evidence that there is much more and is ever shaping and shifting. Day and night are short changes of the reality that dawn and dusk also exist. Yet Greta says there are some black and white truths. She says either we choose to go on as a civilization or we don't. Well, today, I present to you my black and white truth. This duality is at the core of not just the human experience, but what I often call the carbon experience, the network of life we belong to and cycle through. Like bees, part of a colony, our bodies are part of a larger organism, an organized system. Here it is. Either we center life or we're glitching. Here's the science behind it. The autonomic nervous system in vertebrates is the part of the nervous system that controls and regulates the internal organs without any conscious recognition or effort by the organism. The autonomic nervous system comprises of two antagonistic sets of nerves, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems. The parasympathetic nervous system is the baseline state of life. This is the state of rest, ease, when the immune system is active, when digestion is processed and healing happens. The sympathetic nervous system is the need-based mode for survival. You've probably heard of it as fight, flight, freeze, and collapse. And it's when most of the organism's energy is targeted to survive. I call it a lunge for life. And frankly, it makes me pontificate. The poetry of organisms that are pre-programmed for life, preservation, and protection. And how it could have gone so wrong. Well, unlike wild plants and animals, humans have an uncanny ability to disrupt the completion of the sympathetic nervous system. And basically, we glitch. We get stuck in the sympathetic system as trauma isn't allowed to process and return to the parasympathetic. That energy becomes traffic jammed in our bodies, throwing off our reasoning, our processing, our perspective, our physiological regulating abilities. In short, rest and survival are the two systems that construct and sustain life. And so either we are centering life or we're glitching. If we desire to sustain life, if we desire to save our chance at inhabiting this planet, to defend all human black bodies, indigenous bodies, people of color, disabled, queer, women, trans bodies, if we desire justice and equity in our social order, we must restore these two systems in our bodies and in our cultures. Because our culture glamorizes hustle and busy and avoids rest. We believe excess isn't enough, and there isn't enough for everyone. We think that hoarding wealth and resources is just the name of the game, instead of ecosystem sabotage. We glorify monocrops and the erasure of biodiversity and nutrient density with our manicured, inedible monocrop lawns, with our gender preference for males and patriarchy, or the race glorification with white supremacy, or a bias for abled bodies and culturally attractive bodies with ableism and body shaming and fat phobia, and again and again and again, I can name the social effects of our house on fire, of trauma unaddressed, of nervous systems glitching in survival mode. Today and onwards, let us be clear in curating pathways to healing repressed energy. Because what we are doing outside of our bodies, we are also complicit within them. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm saying hurt bodies. That the repressed grief, anger, fear, shame, emotions, that energy in our bodies, just like those of our ancestors, will shape a world of repression, grief, anger, fear, shame, leading to inflammation and festering. We fuel a pressure cooker that, as the laws of physics demand, will be released one of two ways. One, by relief valve with intentionality and regulated and sustaining life. Or two, by force. It will burst out. This pressure cooker of repression inside ourselves mirrors what we have turned our atmosphere into, stuffed with greenhouse gases, heating us all up. It is outside as it is maintained inside. Our house is on fire, y'all, and the source is us. The diagnosis is clear. Hurt bodies, and our relationship to life as Homo sapiens still easily can skew towards self-sabotage. So we must build a lifestyle of healing, constantly bolstering our resilience and addressing emotions as they present themselves. This is our call. Leah Morris gave us the equation in their song titled Spring Thing, and in the chorus, Leah sings beautifully, "Wake up from your slumber, try to remember a time when we all were together as one. A new day has come. Tell me you feel the sun. Wipe away teardrops. Springtime has come. I'm wide awake now." Let us explore this chorus to identify our pathways to healing. First, Leah implores us to wake up from our slumber, just like Greta urges and Emma's Revolution sings. Our house is on fire. But how is the question? Well, each of these guided invitations that follow are experiences, and I'll break them down. Please make note in your body how you feel and what comes up. Make note what pings true in your bones and what your body asks for to continue healing. First, Leah invites us to try to remember a time when we all were together as one. Y'all, I want to start with the basis that the earth is not exotic, it's not foreign. The earth isn't even really outside or other from ourselves. It isn't a gift to us or something we must rile up abstract empathy for as a separate object. We are the Black Earth itself. This is the roots of my community ministry for and by Black millennials and Gen Zers, to describe and support an ecosystem of spiritual wellness and to center life. Though we are not only our bodies unite us with all carbon in a shared experience of returning to healing and wholeness with other human bodies, animal bodies, plants and soil bodies. And if at the core of your cosmology you lack clarity of our oneness in a real and tangible way, let me read you this excerpt from a book I've recently read. Once upon a time, there was a universe. We're not sure about how it started or whether there is a reason, but we are pretty sure that during the first sliver of a trillionth of a second, it expanded very rapidly, so that for the most part, it looked the same in every direction and looked the same from every position. It was sameness everywhere, except that particles started to blip out of nothing due to random fluctuations caused by quantum effects. Maybe in space-time, we're still not sure about that. Then again, we're not super sure about this either, but for some reason, those particles formed more matter than antimatter. That process started to form structures, and from those structures, stars formed. Then the stars got old. Some of them died in super epic, rather fabulous fashion, and they exploded into supernova, making heavy elements like carbon and oxygen in the process. Those elements went on to be the basis for all life on Earth. Neil deGrasse Tyson quite beautifully says, "We are stardust brought to life by the universe so that the universe can figure itself out." Try and remember a time when we all were together as one, and do this often, my loves. Leah goes on, "A new day has come." Octavia Butler has rooted the ultimate truth of change throughout her Parable of the Sower series, where protagonist Lauren Olamina observes and explains a theology resilient and relevant in a chaotic and tragedy-filled society. Let's meditate on it. All that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. When you feel stiff-necked, when your mind is narrowed and limited in possibilities, when you are stuck in survival and need to disrupt the pattern of pain, remember, the lasting truth is change. We consciously and unconsciously shape change, and change consciously and unconsciously shapes us. Whether for the better or worse, change is promised in the forecast. A new day comes. So now, what can we do with it? When Leah sings, "Tell me you feel the sun," I hear them asking us to remember in the midst of change, in our bodies, the shared blessing of pleasure. That ease and rest, the liminal space where we heal and restore our souls. So let me tell you a memory I revisit often to tap my body into ease and the parasympathetic. A few years ago, I visited friends in Trinidad, and one day we were hiking and searching out waterfalls in a lush, dense, and vibrant forest. I left my shoes in the car, and walking barefoot in a jungle brought me more present, humble. We climbed over trees and crawled under branches. We walked alongside and in the river, sometimes laughing, sometimes silent. When we got to the waterfall, I gazed at the top hundreds of feet above us. I swam out and sat under the falls, and hundreds of gallons of water shook my body and cleared my mind. I slipped back into the pool, crafted by nature, filled with the crashing water, and followed my body's instinct to float on my back. In moments that felt like forever, with my ears under the water, I could hear the waterfall churning, my heart beating, engulfed in life, vibrant and pounding, and I felt ecstatically connected. My eyes looked up at the tree canopy with slivers of sunlight dancing through. I felt in that moment I was in a familiar dream. I was not my body. I couldn't feel where I ended and the water, the wind, the sky, the trees began. It was connection, peace, and fullness. So much I didn't notice warm salt water leave my eyes and join the overflow all around me. Beloveds, to one another and most importantly, to your body, tell them when and how you feel the sun. Revisit it. Draw from this embodied well that needn't run dry. Next, Leah reminds us to wipe away teardrops. I hear in the harmony and lyrics the imperative to process our trauma. I'm not asking if you've exposed your nervous system to tragedy porn regularly, or if you slump under the weight of existential terror and anxiety with your friends. I'm not asking us to attempt centering life via shame or fear. When I ask, have you wiped your tears? I'm asking, have you explored self-sabotage trauma responses in you? It may very well be overwhelm or shame or terror. Have you sat with love and curiosity for your frenzy? Have you listened to the anxiety behind your desperation to flee? Have you ritualized and strengthened with practice your tolerance and skills for managing discomfort, even though you've learned to deny and avoid conflict like a pro? Have you sat with your anger until it revealed fear or sadness? Then, have you stayed as your body, your carbon-made, life pre-programmed body, witnessed as it processed the obstacles to wholeness and digested stuck and festering emotions? Have you gathered the wisdom from your bones and made an altar for them? Have you been with the pain human society has feared facing for centuries and survived, returning with the sureness that life returns to life? Woe ya ya. Have you wiped teardrops, beloved? If not, make haste in building a lifestyle of healing so you can install a pressure valve in your body, not only for this accumulated and the upcoming traumas that you will experience in your life, but also for all that is stored and eager for release from your ancestors who forgot or were obstructed from the way to healing. This is our teleological imperative, first to flourish, and second to heal any obstacle to flourishing. Finally, Leah sings, "Springtime has come, I'm wide awake now." In short, rinse and repeat. This is a lifestyle of remembering and returning, of processing and acknowledging. It is the motion from rest to survival and back again that we access the fullness of our life force energy. We are awake and able to put out the fire. So remember our oneness and the inevitability of change. Soak your body regularly in organic and earnest pleasure and rest. Make spiritual the lifestyle of healing. Then repeat, beloveds. Each one of us has the power to shape change and widen the pathways for healing for all life. May you remember you are beloved, and go forth and be love. May it be so.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend Yadini, for those beautiful words. I wonder if you have ever felt that ecstatic connection. I wonder if you were to create an altar to the wisdom in your bones, what would be on your altar? I wonder what you're noticing in your body right now after hearing that beautiful reflection. Are you feeling that delicate balance between the call to rest and the pull for anxious survival? I'm so grateful for Reverend Hailu and the UU Ministry for the Earth for today's message. I needed this message. This reminder that healing the planet, that saving the planet, that protecting our house and our future is as much about healing ourselves as it is about healing the world around us. It's about orienting ourselves toward thriving over devastation, toward flourishing over failure. And in that commitment to flourishing that she talks about, that commitment to flourishing of all people and all creatures, all of life, we change. We must change. It is a necessity to change. We see change, we make change, we seek out change, we welcome change. And we seek not just to prevent obstacles, but to heal those obstacles. And that healing is a spiritual orientation, a spiritual practice. If we are disconnected and dissociated from our bodies, from the world's struggles, from community of any kind, or from our planet, if we only focus on fixing what's outside of us, we can never truly heal, and we just continue this cycle of self-sabotage and devastation. And we need both at the same time, healing ourselves to heal the world in equal measure. We might take some inspiration from Black ecological thought, a growing set of philosophical understandings and frameworks, a theology, if you ask me, that centers the cultural and ancestral wisdom of the Black experience and the earth. In an article for Yes Magazine's Spring Ecological Civilization issue, a beautiful deep dive into creative solutions for our current environmental crisis and all of the challenges, the author Leah Penniman writes about the gift of ecological humility found in Black ecological thought, in Afro-Indigenous practices that challenge human supremacy. She speaks about the 400 plus years of what she names as racial capitalism, the commodification of people for economic gain, and how it has severed any kind of sacred connection to the earth. That separation from ancestral understandings of the land as kin, as family, of which we are a part, rather than masters over. She shares ancient practices still alive in the African diaspora, which include Ifa divination, soil stewardship, and biomimicry, all of which involve connecting to the earth and to community in equal measure, in collaborative, creative, innovative ways. She writes, "In this time, we are acutely aware of the fractures in our system of runaway consumption and corporate instability. We feel the hot winds of wildfire, the disruptions of pandemic, and the choked breath of the victims of state violence. We know there is no going back to normal. The path forward demands that we take our rightful places as the younger siblings in creation, deferring to the oceans, forests, and mountains as our teachers." Her message, along with Reverend Hailu, urges us to heal our relationship to those systems and structures that have contributed to our current crisis, and to heal the structures themselves. Capitalism, consumerism, runaway corporate greed, individualism, wealth accumulation, racism and oppression, commodification of people, the list goes on. And it renders communities and people invisible. We must heal our spiritual relationship to the earth, regarding its divinity and its rights, learning to listen to what it has to teach us. My colleague, Reverend Gretchen Haley, shares this beautiful reflection about this spiritual challenge that we find ourselves in. She writes, "We have, after all, misunderstood creation and misunderstood our place in it. We have misunderstood what it means to be human, and we have misplaced our ultimate loyalty. We don't have a political problem. We don't need an organizing strategy. We have a spiritual crisis. It's all connected. If this pandemic has taught us anything, it's that we are disconnected from each other and our planet. We are unprepared for any sort of massive disruption, particularly a climate-related one. But because this pandemic has had a global reach, because no one has lived outside of it, we were able to experience moments of collective reckoning in the urgent need to address all kinds of issues and see them as basic human rights, issues like housing and food insecurity, even systemic racism, as communities of color are far more impacted by the climate crisis and environmental pollution than white communities. My colleague, Reverend Haley, goes on to talk about the fact that we don't have an environmental crisis plus a racial justice crisis plus a gun crisis. It's all the same thing. It's a spiritual crisis. And so we need spiritual tools and practices. We need new rituals, prayers, songs, stories that tell us who we really are, who we belong to, what matters most of all. The kinds of rituals and prayers and songs and stories we work to bring into our collective time of worship together every week. And we need to be rigorous in our practices. Maybe even more than anything new, we also need the old rituals, the old prayers and songs and stories, the lessons of our ancestors, dipping our hands in the black gold soil of the earth that it might also regenerate us as we regenerate it, walking barefoot through the forest to feel. We need all of this reconstituted in service of a world that is trying desperately to be born. We need to remember the ancient future world, a world reborn, the born-again life baptized in our new and old covenant with all of creation. It's all one deeply complicated, interwoven struggle that needs an equally interwoven, beautifully diverse and complex set of solutions. The problem is that sometimes we can't even imagine a radically different, ancient future world. It feels too distant, too unrealistic, too utopian. But if we could really imagine ecological civilizations or even small communities, what might change? Could we create collective community-based structures where there's both an ecological ceiling and a social foundation, caps and baselines, that if we crossed would allow for unacceptable dangers to the planet and people, and so that we collectively work to keep ourselves in the middle, together, thriving together? If we did that, what might change? We know we're at a tipping point. Actually, we're far beyond the tipping point. We have tipped over. Our house is already burning, but we can save it. And we can save each other. This is our salvation as Unitarian Universalists. Loving the world, loving humanity, and doing everything that we can do to protect our collective, ancient future. If we truly wish to embody E.E. Cummings' words, tuning into the divine gratitude of most this amazing day, of most this amazing life, of most this amazing earth, what will we change? What will we touch? And how will we let it change us? In that quest for change, we connect with one another. In that quest for healing our relationships, for tuning into that divine gratitude of most this amazing life, we share with one another. It begins with the building of our community. And so we create a sacred time each week, a sacred ritual and practice to share with one another the joys, the sorrows, and the passages of our lives. You are invited to share your joys and sorrows in the chat as we receive the healing beauty of music. We hold the joys and sorrows of this beloved community. Alongside the silent prayers we hold close to our hearts. We gather them up with the joys and sorrows of our nation and our world, holding them all close, breathing them in, and sending forth love. I invite us all into a time of quiet reflection and meditation followed by a prayer. If it's comfortable for you, I invite you to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths as you tune in to that body of yours, to that spiritual center. In each breath, I invite you to draw in the wisdom of the earth. And as we sit for a few moments in shared silence, I invite you to reflect upon all that our beautiful planet has to teach us. Blessed be. Spirit of life and love, holy mystery, the threshold of our earth calls to us, singing a song of hope, a song of peace, a song for our collective future, for all beings, for life itself. O Earth, our mother, father, protector, and sustainer, turn our despair into delight, our delight into determination, to find a path through the chaos, through the fear, through the darkness, that we might move toward possibility, toward creativity, to do all we can to save you, to save us from ourselves. O Earth, O Teacher who has cleared the way that all life might thrive, may we find comfort in your beauty. May we breathe in your nourishment, welcome your strength and fortitude, knowing our lives depend on yours. May we feel our own rootedness, seeking the quiet stillness to hear the wisdom of our ancestors. May we feel and be sustained by your embrace, and listen to
to the whispers of life, calling to life. We have a long way to go yet. More thresholds to cross, more uncertainty to bear. May we keep on moving forward, knowing the path in front of us will lead to great change. May we stay open and willing, knowing that we bring the commitment of this community with us, filled with the gratitude for all that is our life and all that we can be together. In the spirit of all that is holy, we pray. Amen.
Well, we couldn't get quite enough of Emma's Revolution. So they're back. We've brought them back with more of their music. This song, Our House is on Fire, was inspired by the call of 16-year-old climate activist Greta Thunberg, urging world leaders and all of us to take action. And it was selected to be the title track to the compilation CD, Hope Rises. There's no better way to be ignited by the urgency of now than through a song you can rock out to. Let's enjoy.
Put out the fire, put out the fire. Put out the fire, our house is on fire. Put out the fire, put out the fire. Put out the fire, our house is on fire. We love you, we hear you. We commit to change our ways, not later, but sooner, right now, for your future. You can't wait, put out the fire. Well, I can't wait, put out the fire. I can't wait, put out the fire. Our house is on fire. For our children, put out the fire. And their children, put out the fire. And their children, put out the fire. Our house is on fire. For songbirds, for clean air, for the oceans and the rain. Not later, but sooner, right now, for our future. Melting glacier, put out the fire. Rising sea, put out the fire. Bleaching coral, put out the fire. Our house is on fire. Shrinking shoreline, put out the fire. Sinking island, put out the fire. Growing dry land, put out the fire. Our house is on fire. Let bees live, let trees grow. Let the snow fall where it may. Not later, but sooner, right now, for the future. Right now, for the future. Right now.
is on fire.
Yes, what an excellent song. Friends, I invite you to take your hands and place them over your heart for our closing blessing. Feel that electrified energy pulsing through you that tells us all our time is now. Our house, our planet, our collective survival needs all of us, listening, acting, changing, healing, putting out the fire. Let us express our gratitude for most this amazing day in ways large and small every day. Let us protect our future together. Blessed are we all. Go in peace. Thank you all for being with us this morning. I hope you get a chance to go out into this gorgeous spring day and commune with the beauty of our planet. Thank you to all who made today's service possible. Stay tuned for our virtual coffee hour in our small group breakout rooms. For the newcomers among us, we invite you to click later when you receive that first breakout room invitation and stay right here, and we'll move you to our Inquirers breakout room. And for children, youth, and any adults that want to hang out and have some fun fellowship time with Jem, you just stay right where you are. All right, your breakout rooms are open. Again, Inquirers, you can click later and you can just hang out here with us and we'll put you in that Inquirers breakout room. Just quick, hi, Brian Nelson. It's such a delight to see you. Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing really well, thank you. What a treat.
Well, I've been thinking I have to find a day to go see one of Sarah's services, and so this seemed like. Although I learned something about Idaho today.
Oh, well,
You
I hope
are
it wasn't
on a
all the...
different time zone.
Oh, yeah, we forget that sometimes too.
So I showed up at 10 a.m. and I'm like, she's talking. She's already, this is like the sermon. What? So yeah. But
yeah.
You know what? I pretty much got the whole sermon, I think. And that was the highlight for me, obviously. That's what I came for.
Thank you. Newcomers, I'll be with you in a moment. For those that are hanging out with us in this space, Brian Nelson was the chair of my internship committee when I was an intern at Emerson Church in Canoga Park, California. So please give my love and regards to everyone.
Oh, of course, absolutely. And it's just so lovely to see you and to
Likewise.
see you in your community and congregational setting. We're always so proud of you here.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Brian. Okay, Inquirers. I will get you into your breakout room now. Sorry, I just needed to say that hello. All right, Deborah Smith, I have your invitation there. Let's see. Janet, you want to join Inquirers, yes? Okay, I have your invitation to the Inquirers room. Jen, I see you, yes? Great. Let me find you in my list here. Okay, Jen, I have you a new invitation. You might have to go down to the bottom of your Zoom menu and click breakout rooms to see the new invitation. The breakout room is labeled Inquirers. And that may well be it, I think, as I'm looking through the faces here. Jem is hanging out here. I see Eloise, and I see Becky in the dark, maybe. Hi, guys. It's nice to see you. Okay, I got to zip over to my inquirers now. Bye, Brian.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Eloise and Becky. Hello, can you unmute? There's a way for me to help you. I've pushed a button that says ask to unmute. You can say yes.
Okay, we're unmuted now.
Yay! Ah! Hello.
Hi, we were just confused because holding down spacebar didn't work and Eloise is messing with buttons even though I told her not to.
Oh, usually your spacebar trick works.
Yeah, but it's like it's in the chat thing. So like if we hold down,
touching things.
If we hold down, hey,
Get your hands off of Mom's computer. You're gonna mess something up.
no, I'm not.
Becky, your voice sounded like modulated, like very low. I thought that wasn't you speaking for a second. That was funny to me. Hi, you two. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm tired.
Tired?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry for snapping at you.
Yeah, but I'm trying to fix it somewhere we can.
Yeah, I get it, but you're gonna break it if you continue.
No, I am not.
Stop. Talk to Jem instead of arguing with me.
But I'm not gonna break the computer.
Eloise, I'd like to know what you've been up to this morning. Did you guys sit in the service? Did you listen to the service?
It's on the big TV up there.
I listened to it while doing the dishes / watering the plants. And then by the end of the service, I went to the garage and painted a little bit. And then I went here.
Now you're here. What were you painting?
Oh, I'm painting a mural on my dresser. Like the number one thing on my bucket list is to paint in Freak Alley. But the thing is that you need a permit, and I'm not an adult.
Permits suck.
I just want to ask someone, hey, can I paint on this wall right here? And hopefully they're like, yes, paint your
You just want
heart.
to walk up to the wall?
Yeah, and be like, can I paint you?
If there's a station guard, if there's someone there, like, here's where you can paint, my guys. Permits.
We're not changing her name. They already know that because the next time Mom comes in, she doesn't want to look like, she doesn't want our name. She wants her name.
I know who you are. You don't have to change your screen name.
Okay.
Yesterday, I got my longboard fixed. So I have a skateboard and a longboard now. We went over to the skate park and always butt boarded.
I butt boarded all over the place, and this was kind of funny. There was like this slope right in front of another slope that was steeper, and so I went down that slope on this longboard, and since the longboard goes really fast, the longboard was like woo, and it like went up onto the other slope, and I lost a shoe up there, and then my other shoe fell off, and I was so scared. I'm like, no.
Oh my gosh.
Basically the same thing as skateboarding, but you're sitting on the skateboard.
Yeah.
Do you use your hands for momentum? Do you use your feet when you're butt boarding?
You use your hands basically. If you want, like, I like kneeling on the board. I like sitting like this I like sitting on my knees on the board so then I can just use my hands easier.
Okay. Yeah, that seems like you get more range of motion, like you're rowing a boat.
Yeah.
I like standing on it regularly because I'm a regular person.
I wish someone had told me that it was okay to butt board because that's all I knew how to do for a while. And then I gave up on skating or skateboarding because I thought, there's no way everyone's going to make fun of me for doing this. But you should be allowed to butt board. I haven't seen Eloise since the wheels party. Eloise, do you remember that?
Yeah, it was fun. I like during the scavenger hunt, I just like, since it was on grass, I couldn't Healy a lot, so I'm just like, this is gonna take forever.
You have to use your feet and your legs. Ugh.
I'm actually a really good I'm a good butt boarder on longboards because it not only the
Long
momentum.
butt boarder?
I feel like you'd be better at regular skateboarding than me because you're shorter than me and your center of gravity is closer to the ground.
True.
That's good.
But like I don't have the balance and momentum. I still haven't learned to keep my balance and my momentum yet. So I've just been sitting there. You're like, wee.
But you're practicing on your Heelys.
Yeah, practicing on my Heelys is like the thing that it's like bike riding. After you learn, it's really hard to forget.
I have some exciting news to share.
What?
I was so excited by the wheels party that I bought a pair of roller skates and they're still in the mail, and I'm trying to not be scared that they're lost in the mail. They're still in the mail, but I'm going to get some roller skates and then I'm going to learn how to roller skate. So next time we have a wheels party, I can be zooming around with everyone and it'll be like Heelys.
Maybe next wheels party, if I'm here, I'll ask Becky if I can bring her longboard so then I can board all over the place.
Well, you have Heelys. Why can't I go there with my longboard?
What about you bring your skateboard and your longboard?
But my skateboard kind of doesn't move that fast.
Yeah, but then I could use your longboard and then we could keep switching.
Sharing. That sounds like a good system for sharing. Eloise, you hung out with my nephew Isaac, and I think that it looked like you two and my niece Jaden. Do you remember hanging out with Isaac and Jaden?
Yes.
They had a really good time with you. That was really fun.
I have Vans.
Vans?
Hard to see. Hey!
You're showing me your shoes.
Look. They're Target Vans.
They're Target Vans.
Target brand Vans?
They're Cat and I can't remember. I can't read my cursive, but it's something.
Cat and Jack.
Yeah, Cat and Jack Vans. They were only $60 at Target.
60, more like 6.
No, they were actually $60. They were the price of a Switch game.
I don't think they were $60.
They were.
Oh. Hello, newcomers. Goodbye, newcomers. Oh. Hello. I think I can solve this. 1 second. Ask to unmute. Does that show a button? This says.
Hi. Hi,
hello.
Jen. Hi. Good. Well, yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, is this a newcomer room?
It isn't. This is
I
just
see.
the main room. Were you trying to go into the newcomers room?
No, I'm not a newcomer, and somehow yeah, I'm here, but yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you. So you left the breakout room you were in?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it took you back to what is it called? The main worship room, and I'm just hanging out in here with a couple of kids. So.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Jem, I really love your story time. and I love it. And then I learned a lot. I'm not not native English speaker, but then you figured it out. But I really enjoy story time. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for saying that.
Yeah. See you. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, you too. Okay. I had. So do either of you remember the story I told? The story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. I was thinking about it while I was buttboarding up and down the sidewalk.
What do you remember about the story?
I remember that the soil, that soil can help plants grow, and rain in the sun can also help the plants grow.
Yeah, that there are special microorganisms in the soil that plants have to have a relationship with. They help each other.
Yeah.
And so, like, everywhere around us are communities, like communities of, where did that go? Oh, right there. Like where plants and dirt and animals and birds and creatures, like everyone and everything is in a relationship. Like some share willingly to help each other. Sometimes we're not sharing willingly to help each other. But like, I don't know. I think that's so interesting. Would you like to see pictures of that tree I was talking about?
Yeah.
The cedar?
Yeah. It was so big. It was huge. Okay, let me share my screen. So I wanted to check in with you about that. I'm going to share this picture. And I can tell you about the activities that I had, the two options for activities that we can do really fast if you want, or we can keep checking in, but I would love to share this picture.
I have something to show you.
Oh, I'd love to see it. Okay, where are we? Okay, so this is a tree that fell over. And you can see that's my very, very tall husband standing next to it. And that's the boardwalk that we're on to keep us off of the ground. This is underneath that tree.
Whoa.
You can see it goes up and up and up, and it leans over onto this tree, and they connect really high up. But here is the largest tree. It's not 49 feet around. Why did the internet tell me that? I think it's... The internet lied to me. It's really, really round, but I don't think it's 49. It's probably like 25 feet round.
Lisa and I hugged a really big redwood once.
Yeah, we went to a place. It was like right under Oregon, and we hugged a redwood.
That's right. You went to the redwood forest. Here's the tree. Here's the tree you can see that's tipping over, and it connects all the way to the top. Or not to the top, but the middle of this tree.
That's the biggest tree in the world.
No, just in Oregon.
Oh.
Yeah, there's way, way, way bigger trees. And
like the redwood.
Oh, there's a mossy tree. That's all I have.
Mossy tree. I have something to show you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go grab it.
Logs with a bunch of moss on it and mushrooms.
Yeah.
Those are cute.
I really like them. I really like moss. I want to learn how to grow it in my apartment, but it might be hard to do that.
I have a moss jar.
You do?
Yeah.
Show me. Okay, I'm gonna get two things shown to me. Very excited. I see a leg. What am I looking at?
I don't have my glasses and it looks weird.
What?
It looks weird. If I look at myself in like a mirror without my glasses, it looks very weird.
Same. I just took my glasses off to clean them.
Okay, you ready to see what I have?
You look
Eloise first and then moss jar. Show me what you got.
I have it's look.
Whoa! Is it a moon?
Yeah, it's a moon ball. It was made in China. Wait.
And every single time you touch the bottom, it turns a different color.
And then there's this one.
How do you use it? Is it like a nightlight you have?
Yeah, it's a nightlight. Let me go grab the controller real quick.
It has a controller, and there's this little sensor on the bottom, and every single time you touch it, it turns a different color.
That's amazing. I'm very jealous of that. I'm really curious what made Eloise think about that, or if Eloise just is excited about it and wanted to share.
She probably was just excited about it. I got a loft bed. Oh.
You have a loft bed? What?
Yes.
What?
This is the controller.
That's complicated. Oh, it's color coded.
Yeah. So so basically, this side with all the white ones, plus white. This one's for 15 minutes. This one's for 45. This one's for 30, and this one's for an hour.
What's the timer buttons?
Yeah, it's like time, and I put it up for 45 minutes each night. I mean, not 45, 30 minutes each night.
I really like the color it's on right now.
And then all the bottom ones are just like, so like if I would do flash, it would flash. And then if I did smooth, it would fade smoothly.
Oh,
and
like cycle through like the rainbow?
Yeah. It takes forever to change though. Well, it doesn't really cycle through it in order. And then there's fade, which is just basically fade. And this one also,
and strobe is like
and then strobe is just flash or faster.
Flashing lights.
Yeah, flash is literally the same thing, except.
Eloise, I'm really jealous of that. That's really cool. Yeah, can I check out this monster?
I got it for Easter.
So this is my
Easter.
I found moss in the backyard, so I put it in a jar. Do you want to smell the inside?
It smells really bad.
Algae.
You didn't even warn her that it could smell bad. You just put it in front of her and said, "Hey, smell this." It's kind of sibling torture.
But this is the inside. It's not really focusing because we have a window behind us.
Yeah.
So I have an idea.
So you've got a lot of dirt. Ooh. Ooh. What is that shell in there?
Oh, I have this acorn, like this glass acorn in there that Blake gave me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have dirt in it, and then at the very bottom it rocks because it like filters out the water when you water it, but still smells like a fish tank that hasn't been cleaned in 2 years.
Like algae?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And like that's exactly what the Time for All Ages was about, was like, so that little jar of moss is mostly dirt, and there's enough stuff in that dirt to keep that moss alive if you just water it and expose it to light. Like, oh man, I think that's so interesting.
I'm pretty sure the reason why the moss works well in the stars because it grows well in humid areas. Like half of our backyard is lit most of the time, like it's warm most of the time, and the other half is cold most of the time because of the shade from our house. And all the moss is like on the side of the grass over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I just spray this like every single day and it gets moist, like it gets humid in there and it lives.
Have you seen it grow? Like, has it changed since you put it in that jar?
Not really. It's grown a little bit.
Yeah. A little bit?
Barney. Purple.
I thought you called me Daphne. Oh, it's Barney Purple.
Yeah, Barney
Yeah,
Purple.
we named the colors.
Wait. Do a random color that we named.
This is Veggie Teals.
Yeah, Veggie Teals.
Ah!
Wait. This
VeggieTales, 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 VeggieTales.
Remember our song? Becky?
What?
Dragon scales. It's almost time for dragon scales.
Eloise got
You
it.
and I, dragon scales. It's almost.
Dragon scales?
Yeah, instead of dragon tails, it's dragon scales.
This is Carol Baskin Orange.
This is Carol Baskin
Weird.
Orange.
Carol Baskin Orange. Huh.
I kind of forgot the rest.
Red was Mr. Krabs, right?
If you like to talk to tomatoes, if something grape maybe can make you smile, have we got a show for you?
Pretty sure
I watched that show growing up.
I'm pretty sure this is Rick Astley Red.
Show me. Rick Astley Red. Ooh, vibrant. Pretty.
Do.
Rick Astley is the guy who wrote the song Never Gonna Give You Up.
I'm going to.
That's enough.
Oh.
My tasty cheeseburger. I'll be back for you. Ooh. Do you guys remember that episode?
We don't really watch VeggieTales often. We just thought of that.
You don't need to watch it. If you just need a few songs from it. Like some of the songs are so good. Check out the cheeseburger song.
Cheeseburger.
And then Barbara Manatee song. And then the Where's My Hairbrush song. Those are my 3 favorites from VeggieTales. I highly recommend them.
Blake keeps on saying "say who" over and over again. Who?
Okay, young people.
I want some.
I'm so rude. I started eating my lunch. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I really enjoyed chatting with you. I'm gonna have to get ready for my next meeting now. Thank you for joining me today.
Who's Claudia?
Claudia Fernsworth is one of the congregants. There's Sue Stadler. So I'm gonna say adieu. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
Oh no, my hands.
That one's not from VeggieTales. Thank you for showing me the cool light and the moss, and I'm really excited for seeing you butt board around.
Okay.
And I hopefully have my skates by then so that I can zoom around too.
Yay, zoom.
Yay, zooming, but real life zooming and not digital zooming.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like COVID. I wish COVID never existed.
That's 95% of people right now.
It's pretty terrible. It's almost completely terrible.
The other 5%.
New Zealand.
Does New Zealand actually like COVID?
No, New Zealand has no COVID.
Yeah, there's a lot of countries who have got a good
got
handle on this. It's sad that we're not one of them. Okay. Thank you, Eloise and Becky. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Goodbye.
Bye.
I'm going to wash my hands.
Okay.
Bye. See you next time.
Bye. Do you know how to leave? Yes, you do know how to leave. Good.